it's me, Kim. I'm back for another video. Today, I was just wiping in my primer. Today, I'm going to be answering a question from a subscriber who asked not to be named. They sent me a message, so feel free to send me a message, patrons. So they said that they went on my Instagram and saw that I do not on Instagram have any pictures with white women. They noticed that all of my friends are black women, and they asked me 3 questions. The first one was, do I have any friends who are white women? If not, why don't I have any friends who are white women? And if I've had white women friends in the past. I think that is so interesting. I wonder, they didn't explain where that question comes from, but I wonder. But anyway, so you're very astute if you notice that I do not have white women close friends as an adult. I don't have a problem with white women. I think I'm less critical of white women than I feel like a lot of youngish black feminists are. That's just not where my time goes. My time does not go into being mad at white women. But you are correct. My best friends in the world at 30 years old are black women, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon, primarily just because I don't have exposure to white women like that, but for other reasons. So anyways, why? How do we get here to where I have a core group of best friends and they're all black? So I grew up in suburbs in Oklahoma and Texas. Grew up in a suburb of North Texas called Plano, and went to high school in Central Oklahoma, and I live in Central Oklahoma, and I was born in Central Oklahoma, and my mother's family is from there too. So I grew up around a lot of white people. And until college, had plenty of white friends and went to the birthdays and went to the swim parties and somebody commented on one of my videos because I mentioned that this is the 20th anniversary of Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. I love so many white pop culture girls. I love them. That is the pop culture that I grew up with. I mean, I grew up with both, right? Because if you're a black person, you know white culture and you know black culture, particularly if you grew up in the kind of suburban settings that I grew up in. So anyways, I know a lot about white people. I know how often white women have to wash their hair and all of that. But I definitely have, as an adult, I've realized that I didn't come out of my childhood completely unscathed. I definitely did not come out of my childhood without emotional scars. I have tremendous emotional scars from being the only black girl, being the only one, feeling that loneliness, feeling that alienation, particularly when you're trying to figure out what beauty is. Are you beautiful? Why does my body look different? And you don't have social support, and I've mentioned I was not close to my mother or my sister growing up, so just trying to figure all of that stuff out, and you're kind of on the outside when all of your friends are white as a kid, and everybody's dating and everybody's pairing up, and you're not dating and you're not pairing up because I don't know if it's nobody wants to. I was just weird. I mean, maybe somebody did want to date me when I was in middle school, maybe, but I didn't. I didn't date anybody until I was in high school. So anyways, it was just a lot. It is a lot to be different in any context, but particularly racially, it's just a lot. And I had great white female friends in middle school and high school. I mean, we were very, very close, and I don't think that they were secretly racist, and I don't think, they were genuinely my friends. In high school is when I started to become really, really close with the one other black girl who was in my same classes, and we had similar backgrounds and all of that. But yeah, I had white friends all throughout K through 12 because I had to, because of and also because the way that I was tracked academically, you're the only other black you're the only black girl in the advanced classes, and you're the only black girl in debate, and you're the only, oh yeah, and I had two really good black girl friends in high school who, I mean, we had similar classes and we had similar interests and we did the same things, and right, but like, you know, when you spend so much time being the only one, you have to have white friends, like otherwise you're just gonna be alone. And I just wasn't alone. So when I got to college, but I still felt, I've said this in my video about when I dropped out of college, or, you know, was forced to, when I failed out of college. I do have a college degree, but you know, I got it after I failed out. So I had friends, but they weren't giving me everything that I needed, you know? I was still really, really focused on, you know, getting out of, in high school I lived in Oklahoma, so I was so focused in high school on getting out of Oklahoma, creating a new life, leaving that all behind, doing something different. So I even felt like I didn't even allow myself in high school to get really, really close, because I knew, like, girl, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is cool. Like, I'll go to this party. I'll go to this, you know, we'll go swimming together or whatever. But I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That's how I felt in high school, because I had to go. I had to go. So I did get to go. I, you know, achieved my dream of going to the college, the college that I wanted to go to since I was, you know, in 7th grade or whatever. And I knew that college was going to be different because, particularly with regard to my social circle, when I went to the pre-fresh weekend, which is like after you get admitted in April, all of the, you know, incoming freshmen or potential incoming freshmen go, and you spend a weekend and you hang out and you get mentors. And I opted to do like the black stuff and like be with the black person and go to the black events. And I was like, oh my God, like it was amazing. And for the first time, there was just so many people who were black people, you know, black kids, because we were kids at that time. It's so crazy. So many years ago, 13 years ago. So many like black kids who had similar upbringings, had similar interests, wanted to be the cool nerd, so I feel like I'm a cool nerd. And like, it was just amazing to find, you know, when you feel like you're the only one for so long. When I visited Harvard, you feel like you're the only one for so long. When I visited Harvard, I was like, all of these people were the only ones of where they're from. And we all got to come together and be like, oh, you know, it's like that meme of the two Spider-Mans where they're pointing at each other. It's like, oh, I get. So that was like when I was like, oh, I'm gonna be around a lot of black people in college. That's gonna be my lane. So I did that. In college, I immediately went from having 1 or 2 black friends to having all black friends, like lots of black friends. And freshman year is when I met the women who are still my best friends in the world. And where I went to college, you choose who you are going to live with as upperclassmen. So as a freshman, you pick the people that you're going to live with for sophomore through senior year. And I found a group of friends, and then our group of friends linked up with another group of friends, and they were black girls too. But then we also had a community of black people. It was a completely swapped experience of what I had K through 12. And I recognized how important it is, or what a difference it makes to have people who you feel like really get you. When you are the only one, when you are young, you don't have anybody to talk about your hair with. You don't have anybody to talk about racism with. You don't have anybody to, I mean, there are just so many things that are just unique to black girlhood. And a specific kind of black girlhood, right? So I talk about class a lot. I try to make sure to do that because class does inform my black girlhood. You know, being middle class or upper middle class, I don't know what I was, but you know, I had professional parents, and that means that you have certain sort of expectations. White people have certain kind of expectations of you. You're the good one, and you know, it's like there's just so much stuff. And so to finally find so many black women who had that exact experience, that was Like, we just, it's like a different kind of friendship. So we're super, super deeply in love. They're the loves of my life. They're my best friends. And I just never felt the need I never felt the need or the desire to venture out. But I also say that I was also struggling in college emotionally. I've talked about this in that video again. My father had cancer, terminal cancer, like a cancer that was for sure going to kill him, and we all knew it. And he died when I was my sophomore fall. And then after that, I just was struggling emotionally. So not only did I just not have just like a huge desire to venture out, I just like was not even in a space to do it. And also was like, I've already done that. I've done that. And I found my home, and I found these girls who just get every single thing about me, and they're just so supportive and lovely and wonderful. And I just felt like this is new, you know what I'm saying? And also that was the time when I became like awakened in my Black feminist identity. And you know, my Black feminist identity, I have to say, is not a response to white people or white women. That is not it. That is not it. My Black feminist identity is genuinely a response to how much I love Black women. I feel like, seriously, it really concerns me that people are forming their political identities in opposition to something else. My political identity as a proud Black person is rooted in a genuine love of Blackness, of Black womanhood, of Black community, of Black history and culture. It's not to prove something to white ladies. I hate that. It really is weird to me when I see people do that. Don't do that. Anyways. So that's when I became, you know, super radicalized Black feminist, and, you know, got involved in the Black women's organization and the Black organizations, and you know, studied African American studies and started for Harriet in college. And my interests just happened to be around Black people, so I never really ventured out. I mean, I had a job, and in my on-campus job, I just never got close. I mean, I got close with a couple of white men, not romantically, but it just never happened. And there is something really particular about, you know, going away to college, and people who went to boarding school say the same thing. There's just something like a really particular bond that you get with people when y'all are just hundreds or potentially thousands of miles away from your home, and you're just trying to figure it out. You're away from home and you're just trying to figure it out. And so, but anyway, so we all just got so close. We were living together. It was cold as hell. We're far away from home, and we just got so super close and tight knit. And I am kind of a no new friends kind of person. So those people that I went best friends with in college and partied with and ate with and slept with and studied with in college, those are still my best friends. And I really feel a genuine sadness when people talk about how much they hated college. I'm like, oh, wow. I loved college because I found a genuine community, and that community just happened to consist of Black women. And then, you know, as I got older, it was just like, okay, well, I found my tribe. So I'm probably not going to dedicate, I mean, it does get harder to make friends as you get older. And so I just kind of decided, like, I'm probably just not going to dedicate a whole lot of time. Now, I get along with white women really well. I do. I mean, you know, I get ya, okay? I don't hate white women. I don't have any particular animus or disdain for white women. I can have all sorts of conversations. We can talk about Paramore. We can talk about Gaga. We can talk about Casey Musgraves. We can talk about Downton Abbey. All of these things, I speak the language and I have no animus. You know, I have a literary agent who's a white woman. It's like, we're good. We're good. I can navigate lots of different kinds of spaces. It just so happens that I don't really have a desire in investing in deep friendships. Honestly, even with Black women, I don't have a desire to invest in new friendships with. So it's not just the white women. I'm pretty much now just primarily focused on, let's hang out with my family and make memories with the people that I love and achieve some goals. And I just am not super interested in, you know, trying to meet you for coffee and figure out if we like each other, unless you have a penis and a good credit score. That's just where I am right now. So yeah, if you look on my Instagram or social media and I'm talking about my friends, I'm talking about the same group of women that I've been friends with since we were, you know, cramming in the library back in 2008. When did I graduate from college? I graduated from high school in 2007. So since we were cramming in the library back in the fall of 2007, those are my best friends, and I trust them, and none of them will ever sleep with my boyfriend, and that's that. Do I have a desire to make... I think I'm at a point now, you know, about the new friends thing. I do think that I have become a little bit lazy with regards to friendships and venturing out. You know, when I first started going to therapy, my therapist, because I wasn't dating, so I first started going to therapy like in 2010, 2011. And my therapist was like, so do you date? What's going on? Why don't you date? And I was just like, well, it just seems like a lot of work. And she was like, so are you just gonna be single forever, or what's your plan here? And I was like, well, I guess I don't want to be single forever. So she was like, well, you have to do some work, you know? If you are interested in dating, then you're gonna have to do some work. You're gonna have to venture out. And we both kind of decided that one of the reasons why I was at that time I was like 21, maybe going on 22, and she was like, it's not 100% normal for a 21 or 22 year old to not date anybody if you want to. And so she was like, basically, I didn't like the risk taking of developing new relationships. So with dating, she was just like, and making friends at that point too, she was like, you just have to take the leap. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Because at that time I was also feeling lonely because I was out of school and all that. So, you know, I started dating at that time, started making some new friends and all of that. But, you know, those friends haven't really stuck around. But that was it was an important time because I figured out if you want to make new friends, this is what you have to do. This is where you have to be. For this point in my life right now, I feel like I'm very, you know, I'm 30. Take a shot every time I say I'm 30. My birthday is like in 2 weeks, so I'll get over it soon. So now that I'm 30 years old, you know, there's goals that I have, things that I want to do. And so there was a period of time, probably about 2 years ago, where I was really on the let's date, let's network, let's make friends tip. And I won't say nothing happened. I mean, I did fall in love for the first time. I had a not great or particularly healthy relationship, but it was a relationship and we were genuinely in love. It just wasn't, you know, can you even expect, even though I was like 26 at the time, can you even expect that I was like 26, 27, your first real relationship is not gonna last. But anyways, I did learn a lot, and I learned a lot from finding a whole new group of friends in Oklahoma, where I'm from. But now I am at a point where before I start adding, you know, relationship-wise and all of that, there's just bucket list stuff, you know? I have such a great, steady group of friends who gets me, you know, we don't have to talk every day. They understand my social anxiety. They're rude in the way that I'm rude. It just works. And once I'm out of this little phase I'm in, which is like a productivity phase, I'll be much more open to dating. I'll be much more open to finding new friends. And I do think that it will be useful to have and it's not just that I don't have white women friends. I really don't have non-black close friends. And I hope in the future, when I'm, less of a hermit, that I will be able to dedicate time to venturing out a little more. It's just at this point, it's just so not my focus. This year I just really just wanted to focus on writing a book and creating stuff and just doing the creative stuff, and not so much doing the social stuff. What I realized when I was doing in my era of like dating seriously and being really social and going out and going to clubs and all of that takes up a lot of time. And I've always been I was a lonely kid, and it's very easy for me to get into hibernation mode. It's very easy for me to get into hibernation mode and I don't want to see you mode and in all of that mode, because I am somebody who feels the most joy. The most joy that I experience now is hanging out with my friends from college, hanging out with my nieces, and achieving goals. So if you're not a friend that I've known for almost 15 years, if you're not related to me by blood, and if you're not a goal on my bucket list, it's just really, when I do the cost-benefit analysis, it's just like, I'm just not going to choose you. So that's friends, that's boyfriends, that's whomever. How did I start talking about this? Somebody asked me about white women, and I started talking about the fact that I only care about achieving things right now. I really right now only care about being healthy, making money, hanging out with my nieces, and hanging out with my best friends. And that's cool. That's fine by me. Okay, well, sorry, I got off. So back to, do I trust white women? I feel like that was like a part of the question. The question was, do I not have white friends because I don't trust white women? I don't trust white women less than I trust black women. I really don't. Like, I've had in my life the most horrendous, heartbreaking, awful experiences with friendships and intimate relationships that I've ever had in my life are with black women. By far. By a mile, okay? So, thankfully, I feel really thankful that I was able to go to college and find such great black people, because I definitely see how people grow up to be self-hating. How there are some black people who just are afraid of black people, who don't like them or whatever. Because I've had some horrible experience with black people as a kid and as an adult. And thankfully, I have been able to work through that trauma. So I don't bring that trauma to every single interaction that I have with a black person. But if you have not had the opportunity to work through that trauma, I totally understand why you would ascribe those negative experiences or project those negative experiences onto every single black person. I get it. I am so thankful. That's why I'm so thankful that I went to Harvard. I'm so thankful that I wandered into the community that I did, chose the major that I did, because I feel so good and comfortable in blackness. But the worst betrayals, the worst hurt, boo-hoo crying over people you thought were your friends and they were talking about you. This is when I took a break from college, and my therapist told me to go out and find some friends, so I found some friends, and those friends didn't really like me. It was like a whole thing. Anyways, and also, I have a struggly relationship with, the women in my family. So no, I don't trust white women less, and I don't project all the political stuff. Look, every white woman is not Tommy Lauren. Just like every black woman is not Candace Owens. Every black woman is not me. There are certainly individual white women that I think are cool and interesting. Lady Gaga follows me on Twitter, and I am I don't really tweet anymore. I only really tweeted the Academy Awards to watch Gaga win an Oscar. Lady Gaga follows me on Twitter, and I swear to God, you can't tell me shit. Don't fucking talk bad about Gaga if I'm around, because I'm fucking serious about it. Jamila Jamil of The Good Place asked me to meet her for coffee in New York, but I was like, I don't live in New York. I would gladly be friends, and we've DM'd. I would gladly be friends with Jamila Jamil. I am more open now probably to having non-black friends than I was 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I just am not dedicating as much time into forging those relationships. I mean, look, as I always say, if you hate white women and don't trust them as a whole or whatever, that's up to you. I think that white women is such a broad, I mean, what's the percentage of white people in this country? 70? I don't know what that is. I just saw it on camera. That looks like makeup. How did I do that? I don't know. Anyways, there are so many white women in this country. So many white women in this country. And there's just so many subsections of white women that I just think it's completely possible to find someone in a subsection of white women that's not terrible. I mean, there's just so many. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for me to like blanketly discount white women. And that's why when people are like 53% of white women voted for Trump, and I'm like, well, I'm not talking to those 53%. That means that and also that 53% number is off. So let's just say half, right? If half of white women who voted for Trump, I'm just going to avoid that half. It's not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard. But I'm just going to not talk to them. You know, I don't know. It's just like there's lots of black people that are anti-gay and anti-trans and whatever. It's just like we just won't talk then. I don't know. I'm just not blanketly suspicious of white women the way that a lot of people are. I'm just not. They're also just not my friends. Oh, I was gonna say, another reason why I don't have that blanket suspicion is because, you know, despite the fact that I had lots of horrible scarring experiences with whiteness and white people and white beauty ideals and all of that in K through 12, I also had wonderful experiences with white women, white girls, white women teachers in particular, who were just so kind to me and helped me. I mean, look, it's not possible for me to have been as successful in K through 12, elementary school, middle school, high school as I was if some white women were not on my side. The only administrators that I had and teachers that I had were white, and they were incredibly supportive, and they, you know, rubbed my back when, you know, I was freaking out and crying and having meltdowns and not getting that kind of support in my home. That's another reason why I think I'm just not as, you know, I hate white women as a lot of people are. You know, white women suck, is because I've had such wonderful experiences individually, you know? So I think even if as a group we can say white women do horrible, shitty, fucked up things, I can absolutely, I mean, I feel the same way. I feel the same way about black men, you know? But I still date black men, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that's why I just have not and do not write every single white woman off because of my life experiences. Anyways, if you're a white woman who wants to be my friend, hit me up in like the top of next year. I feel like I'll be in a better place to invest in new friendships. Right now, not a great time. It's no new friends until 2020. But yeah, no beef. No beef. Whatever. It's whatever. Right now, there are a lot more black women that I hate with a passion than white women. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that just because I've had so much more interaction with black women for the last 10 years. So that's that on that. I am finished. I'm gonna go fix my hair and get ready to record the next video. Bye.